High School District Number 70 Governing Board to order. If you'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence, Mr. Gonzalez will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Thank you all for coming today. Appreciate this, our first meeting of the year. So we're going to move to 1.1, which is to move the action item 6.1, election of president and vice president. Is there any nominations for president?
I move that we elect Will Townsend. Things not coming on.
I have a question before
Okay.
we take those motions. Is there a way to postpone this until we are full?
No,
Our staff is full?
there's
Okay, that's
not.
what I just wanted to know.
That was already asked. I mean, not publicly, but it was asked, but we
Okay.
cannot.
Okay,
That's been
thank you.
checked into, so.
Okay, well then I second.
Okay. Any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? The railroad is leaving. Any other nominations? Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
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 Opposed? Is there a motion to accept? Okay, the only name in forward, so we'll just vote on it rather than accept it by acclamation. All in favor of Phil Townsend for president, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your vote of confidence. We'll open the nominations for vice president. Is there a nomination for vice president? I will nominate Ms. Mellon.
Scared.
I will second the nomination.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations for vice president? This railroad train's about to leave also. Any other nominations? With that, is there a motion for nominations to close?
Yes, so move.
Second. Is there, all in favor say aye of closing nominations? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The name and nomination for vice president is Shelley Mellon. All in favor of Shelley Mellon for vice president, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Shelley, for being vice president for the next year.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Moving on, board member reports. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special meetings, special recognition, donations, etc. Is there any board member that would like to report? Yes, Ms. Kravitz.
Thank you. I wanted to recognize publicly our staff and commend and congratulate each one of you for doing the work that you do. We are very grateful as parents, as community members, and as a board member personally. I'm very grateful for the lack of drama and for the diligence in which everybody completes their job. So thank you so much and Happy New Year.
Very nice. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Catherine just mentioned. I just want to thank staff for all their hard work of 2021, and I hope that 2022 will be more productive than last year. Hopefully that with this pandemic and everything else, you guys, keep up the good work, and every child that comes to talk to you, grab, well, I don't know if you're going to be able to, but, fist or whatever, and just be there for them at all times, and I know you are, but just continue doing such a good job and keep an eye on those kids, because they're our kids. They're all of us kids, so.
Thank you.
I'll just say Happy New Year and echo those sentiments, and it's just an honor and to serve our community with all of you. So thank you for all your work, and I'm just excited for 2022.
And I guess, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve with such wonderful people as the staff of Yuma Union High School District. And you make our job worthwhile because we're just here once a month or maybe on the phone a little more frequently than that. But you guys are here every day in the trenches, and you've made our district an amazing district, and we want to thank everybody in the Yuma Union High School District family. So thank you very much.
Just give a round of applause.
Yeah.
Any other board member reports? Hearing none, we'll proceed. Superintendent's report. Mrs. Thompson.
Thank you, President Townsend, governing board members. We'll start this evening with our student council reports, and if Cibola High School could please come to the podium with your report for the evening. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys. Well, I want to start off by saying my name is Daniel, and I am the class of 2023 representative at Cibola High School. We'll start off with our community service. This is for the Cibola Culinary Arts. Our students created charcuterie boards for the Somerton High School groundbreaking ceremony. I don't know if you can see, but in the picture, the two people in the red blazers are leaders for Skills USA, and they're very nice people, and they take a lot of pride in their work. I got to know them over a period of a week at the Washington trip. Very nice people. And right here, once again, our Cibola Culinary Arts. They created desserts for insert at the Education Foundation of Yuma County fundraiser event. The guy right here in the picture, he's a football player, very nice guy. It took him a long time to prepare for this event, so it was pretty cool. And this was at the Crossroads Mission. Student Council hosted a holiday party on December 18th for the children and families staying at the Crossroads Mission. I participated in that. It was really nice to see all the kids be happy with the activities and games that we put up. Yeah, it was the day right after break, and everybody was excited to be there. And then we have our athletic accomplishments. Starting off with Emma, who signed with Xavier University to join their swim and dive team. It was pretty cool. And up next we have Bennett Myers. He placed third in the state and was named All Arizona Cross Country Team. He was also named Yuma Sun Cross Country Runner of the Year. Pretty cool guy, I know him personally. He's in Stuco. All right, that's all. Thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Following Cibola High School, we have Gila Ridge High School. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Sofia Corona. I'm the student body treasurer at Gila Ridge High School. So starting off, we have, sorry.
You're okay.
We have our students, staff and student recognition. Our nursing program registered and reaffirmed the most organ and tissue donors out of all the schools in the state. They won the Donor Network of Arizona's High School Heroes Challenge and were awarded $1,000. 7 out of 7 students who took the state CNA test passed on the first time. Students completed phlebotomy training
Very good.
during last week. Our early education students attended a leadership conference November 10th to build a stronger background in education. Our ed students are working hard so they can lead the next generation of students. Our early education students also gave back to their community in multiple ways. Our coaches and sport teams rock. Jessica Slaughter, head football coach, and math teacher at Gila Ridge was named an AZ Cardinal Coach of the Week last semester. Our boys basketball team broke records at Central Arizona tournament in December. Peyton Smith and Jordan Stevens for making the Y Mountain Holiday Classic All-Tournament team. Jordan Stevens passed his personal 1,000 career point mark with 20 points, And our senior guard, Peyton Smith, broke the school record for most points scored in a single game of 37 points. Gila Ridge students participated in 2021 College Career Community and Military Fair November 15th through the 19th. Across all disciplines, students took the time to plan for their futures. Sorry. Our band and choir also had their winter concerts, which were really good. And our drama finally had their Dracula show, November 12th and 13th. And they also are going to have a show on January 14th, which is going to be improv. And our dance had their winter showcase, which was really, really good. Our dance teams are amazing. And we had our winter spirit week, which we had the days were bring anything but a backpack, dress as your type, monochromatic, crazy sweater, and Gila Ridge hawk out. We had some pretty interesting backpacks that came. We had a lot. I saw a couple shopping carts and suitcases, which are crazy. And then just as our type, we had a lot of girls came in dressed with beards and mustaches, and it was really funny. We also had our bonfire and car smash. We finally got to have it this year, since last year we couldn't. And we were really happy to introduce that to our sophomores and our freshmen, which didn't get to participate that in their previous years. We also set up for our winter formal, which went really good. A lot of students went, and I believe from feedback that I've heard, they enjoyed the night. These are a couple pictures. It was a really fun night. A lot of planning went into it, and I'm really happy with the outcome. And thank you for your time.
Thank you to Gila Ridge High School. And finally, we have Vista High School. Welcome to the podium. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And I'd like to say first, Happy New Year and good afternoon. Members of the board, Superintendent Thomason, and Assistant Superintendent, my name is Mno, and I'm the representative for Vista High School Student Council. To start off, I'd like to talk about what has been going on at Vista. We'd like to congratulate 42 Vista graduates. Desi Suarez said to the graduating class, "Being here today, we represent characteristics of being ambitious, confident, and responsible." A ceremony was held on December 16th to recognize the PAC, and we wish them the best in their future endeavors. We also had Miss Catherine Lloyd recognized for Teacher of the Term, and Miss Connie Jackson recognized for Staff of the Term. Miss Sarah Salcedo was also recognized with the Vista Safety Award for her dedication to building relationships and keeping students safe. Congratulations to the staff, and thank you for all that you do. Vista CTE had a lot to celebrate at the end of the year. In hospitality, medical assisting, mental and social health, and business management. We had 18 Lobos complete their programs, 12 Lobos completing the technical skills assessment, and 18 Lobos getting certified in their respective industry. The PAC is ready to lead the way into the workforce. And that's all we have for you all. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know we all slept since then, but I'd like to thank everyone and recognize Mr. Sergine and Vista High School for a wonderful graduation in December. It's hard work to do one graduation in a year, and Vista does two. And thank you everyone for being there for a very special night. Also, thank you to Yuma High School and all the work that they do to prepare that facility for Snyder Auditorium. It was wonderful, so thank you. Finally, Governing Board, I wanted to provide you an update. There is a document on your podium as well, but I wanted to go ahead and provide an update for starting our year 2022, specifically with a COVID-19 mitigation update, and just a general update. The issues around COVID-19 are plentiful, numerous, and the distractions can be noisy and very overwhelming. It's my goal that our teams continue to work proactively, allowing students to learn, administrators to lead, teachers to teach, and all staff to do their respective work in a safe and protected environment. I have been sending you updates, but just wanted to provide a few more of those updates here. And to reiterate that we are guidanced and recommendationed to death, but we actually have to keep the district moving forward and apply all of those documents and lack thereof. Our goal is keeping schools open, keeping students in those schools, and we believe that schools are the best place for our students and that we can share in slowing, if not stopping, the spread of COVID while keeping our students in a safe environment. I want to, I don't even have words to express my pride and thankfulness for our entire staff, and I mean every single employee in Yuma Union High School District. I appreciate Ms. Kravitz's comment about no drama. I know a lot of people in this district. I may have been around a few minutes, and I have not received one email, one text message, anything from any staff member with anything about not wanting to report to work. These employees are family to one another, but mostly they feel responsible to everyone's students. They're working to keep classrooms and campuses open. I know there's a lot of noise, as I alluded to earlier, and I would just encourage to avoid the national news and pay attention to what's really important, and that's Yuma County and our students here in Yuma County, and supporting the public educators that are coming to work every single day. Administrators, nurses, staff, and faculty are to be commended for their constant spirit and belief in the work on behalf of students. If our employees did not believe in the work that they do, believe me, there are plenty of excuses and plenty of reasons to not come to work. That is not happening in Yuma Union High School District, whatever the noise is outside of here. Yuma County is in high transmission benchmark. January 6th, Arizona Department of Health Services dashboard showed that our county was at 495 cases per 100,000. That's about 22.2%. Regardless of what you think about the numbers, those are some numbers, and I think we can all speak to the fact that we do have a high positivity rate. Just for Yuma Union, from January 1 to today at 11:30, we have 45 staff exposed and 39 more that are positive. From January 6 to this morning, we are missing a few numbers, but because we have active cases being investigated right now, we also have 2, if not potentially 3 nurses out. So our total students positive, exposed, and symptomatic are at 916. Are one or more of those. Understand that every single one requires contact tracing on the part of our schools. So you can understand that that's their primary business right now, is contact tracing, and that isn't a nurse. That's a whole lot of people having to support the health office. I am not beyond begging, as you all know, when it comes to our students. I am begging people to stop sending sick children to school. It's really creating a burden. even more than just COVID itself. It poses a risk for other students. I really don't care anybody's belief or politics. It is a burden and a risk. If it is COVID, we have to quarantine students and staff. And as a reminder, if we don't have enough adults to safely run a campus, that is when I would need to make a decision to not hold in-person instruction. I have a responsibility to provide a safe environment. We have over 11,000 students and only 1,400 employees. So I am asking the community, I appreciate the community always wanting to know what they can do to help. Practice all of the strategies for keeping yourself safe, and please keep your children home if they are displaying symptoms COVID related. Understand, I'm not asking anything out of fear. I'm making the report and these requests with, again, only one goal in mind, and that's to keep Yuma Union High School District open. Our website's updated with our most current mitigation plan that reflects CDC, Arizona Department of Health Service, and County Health Department. Protocols have been shared and continued throughout the months of COVID. Information has gone out to staff from me personally about taking care of themselves and their families. In the age of technology, Facebook, and conflicting media, and even healthcare professionals, it is easy to forget that every person is a part of a family. Our educators, our administrators, even the superintendent, we all have real lives and real families, and we love them and they love us just as much as everyone else. And we're asking that everybody stays together and continues to practice all the right strategies. Finally, I wanted you to know that inventory was done of each campus by the facilities supervisors, and the message continues to be shared with our staff and faculty that if you are in need of supplies, personally contact, not an email, not a smoke signal, make the phone call or go get the supplies. And we have them. And I appreciate Mr. Swenson and his secretary keeping track of all of that. At this time, we have an electronic system in place for our employees on a voluntary basis only for the purpose of uploading their vaccination status and documentation. This is not mandatory. I can't predict what the future is. I don't attend to the court cases or where we are with anything. But if something does get handed down to school districts that we have to verify vaccination status, we have a system. It is electronic. I've uploaded my information with the help of the real boss. And I can tell you that it's all in place so that we won't have to react. We've already responded in the event that that's something that is necessary. So crystal ball, Mr. Ware and I have talked about that a lot, still continue to be in the shop, and we are just fighting the good fight to keep schools open. And I'm happy to entertain questions or comments from the board, and if not, then that would conclude my report.
Any questions from the board? Ms. Kravitz, go ahead.
I do appreciate how you look to the left always.
I know where the question's coming from.
From a very good place.
Okay, we'll go with that.
First of all, thank you for putting up our mitigation plan on the website. It's really very helpful that the community can look on it themselves. I really appreciate that. My question is about the staff members, the numbers that you gave us. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 100. If they are exposed, what do they do? Do they stay home if they're exposed for X amount of days, or do they come in wearing a mask, or is it up to them? What happens?
The supervisors have all gone through. We do have those protocols also in place. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't have it memorized. Mr. Brienza is always, he's way younger, by the way.
Don't admit
And
that.
I feel like his mind is just a great rote memory place to go.
So our safety officer, Ryan Quick, has worked very hard making sure that what we have in place mirrors and matches the CDC, and it's also found on our website as well. So whether you're a student or staff member, the protocols are essentially the same.
That was my next question.
So when it comes to that, it's not black and white always. It also depends upon, do they have symptoms? Is there a fever? Are the symptoms gone? Are they improving? Vaccination status, when did you get your vaccinations? Are you fully vaxxed? So there's a couple components, or more than a couple, 3 or 4 components that go into play, but that's actually all on our website, and staff members can reach out to their supervisor or Ms. Quick, or go to the website, and parents are encouraged to go to the website as well. So not black and white, but their answers can be found.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, you had a question.
I have a question for Ms. Thompson. You mentioned the system that we have in place, the electronic system, and which is just, it is not mandatory to give any information of any teacher that, unless he or she wants to, just for uploading into the system. That's not considered public record. I mean, like, let's say that a parent wants to call you and say, do we have any teachers that are not infected, but do they have the COVID, and are there the status or what have you? Are we allowed to give them any info?
No, your medical records are protected, and even the offering of that information, we are not allowed, and we do not ask people their status when it comes to vaccination status. But if the courts mandate that, we would either to be vaccinated or begin testing to be able to report safely to work. That's a huge ask. And so we need to, with a large system, we need to have an electronic way of tracking what that might look like. But it is all protected under your medical privacy.
And it's all voluntarily, right?
Currently voluntary, and I don't even know how many people have uploaded their card. You fill in the information, and then you actually upload a copy of your document.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for your report. Is that all of your report?
President Townsend, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving on, information items, budget update, overview view of the 2020-2021 Yuma Union High School District internal budget, and you're at the podium.
Hello? I am, is this on? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, board members, superintendents. Happy New Year. Yes, it's me starting off the year right, I know. I know Diana's great, but also I get to fill in for her tonight. So, as always, beginning with our Mno budget, so that's maintenance and operation, of our budgeted $90,678,502. As of December, so the end of December, we have spent $31,292,780 of that, or about 35%. And then of our budgeted capital, which for the district, for the 21-22 school year is $16,269,831. At this time, we have spent $1,938,361, or about 12%. Are there any questions about the budget from anyone on the board?
Any board members' questions? No.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Item 3.2,
I was trying to write
communications report. Mr. Patton. Ms. Thompson, Mr. Patton.
Yes, thank you, President Townsend. I want to make sure that you have information regarding the work that Mr. Patton and now his team are doing in order to continue to try to reach as many people as possible with all of the information and news about Yuma Union, especially to celebrate our students. So I've asked Mr. Patton to report to you this evening, and you have a copy of the slide that he is showing at your podium.
Good evening, everyone. The report that I usually do is in June, and we kind of recap the entire year, but because of questions like what is and what isn't on the website and how are we messaging in times that messages are more important than ever, I wanted to bring some of these numbers to your attention tonight and then obviously allow for questions once we get through some of it. The top right corner is where we'll start. We have a lot of conversations about what is and what isn't in the media in terms of TV, radio, and the newspaper. In a lot of ways, our reach as a school district and individual schools is greater than that of some of the local media entities as a whole. And that's why I wanted to point to the social media growth that we've seen this year, as well as the cumulative numbers. Starting with Facebook, if you added up all 4 of our social media platforms, we have almost 45,000 total reach, and that's individuals who are following our different platforms. And that's only including Yuma Union's district pages and the school's official pages themselves. So we're not talking about like an athletics page or anything like that, and that reach is even further expanded at that point. Facebook has continued to grow. We're at about 8.6% again from July 1st to Friday. 8.6% growth across the district with all 7 of those pages. Instagram is our biggest growth area, 19.3%, again across the schools that have an Instagram page as well as Yuma Unions. Twitter has been stagnant for almost 2 years. We use it just as much as we use Facebook. Basically anything that's posted on Facebook is also shared on Twitter. We haven't seen the growth in that area. We definitely don't see the interactions, whether it's comments, likes, anything like that. It's really minimal at most. And then our YouTube has grown substantially, especially with the increase in live streaming events. We do some on Facebook, some on YouTube. We had been broadcasting things like the Somerton groundbreaking and whatnot as live stream events on those platforms, and that I think has drawn people there. And then if we go down to the next block on that right side of video content, that's been why I think YouTube has shown growth over the last 2 years. Particularly, we've made a bigger emphasis on our video content, and that has been just exclamated exponentially by the 2 staff members that joined us in October, Leslie Avila and Christian Magana. We're averaging right now about 3 video posts per week, in addition to all of the textual posts or images and things like that that are getting posted on Facebook and YouTube, et cetera. We're averaging about 3 video posts per week, and those are ones that are having the broadest reach with our families. 5 series are included on Facebook, and when I say series, it's literally something that's coming out that you can look forward to on every other Monday or every other Wednesday. And some of those include students doing community service. So there's one called Kids These Days, and you can see things that are going around in the community where students are out doing things like COFA Student Council, for example, at the community food bank during the holidays. We have one coming up about a student doing a Grant a Gown initiative for the 2nd year in a row, where he's raising funds to give graduation regalia to students who are in need. So it's those kind of things. We have other series about staff members who are usually under-recognized, a lot of classified staff members and things like that. And these are things that are just kind of starting up, especially with our new team members taking the lead on a lot of that. Some of these are their ideas that we've been able to bring to fruition, and it's kind of just getting started in those areas, but we're really trying to focus on and highlight the positive things that are going on in the district, especially again in those areas that don't often get recognized. And then finally wrapping up the video section, out of in the neighborhood of 45 videos that have been posted since the start of school, 23 of them have 1,000+ views on Facebook alone. That's generally really good for us. If we can get somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or 500 views on a video, that's generally pretty successful. So to have 1,000 or more is definitely a success. If we switch to the middle, we're talking about press interactions again since July 1st. 53 press releases might sound like a lot to the public, but for me, it's not as many as we normally have sent. We had one year where we averaged about 1 per day. Over the course of 365 days, I think we had 360 press releases sent. We scaled that back to a certain extent, because a lot of those things are getting moved into that video content where we are our own media. We're creating our own reach to the public as opposed to relying, as we had in the past, on external media to publish things to get the word out about what's going on in our schools. That being said, we still had more than 350 emails and calls from media members regarding things, and that's counting follow-ups and things like that as well. They're not an original contact every single time. And that would include, beyond local media, we've had outreach from people at the Arizona Republic or other entities in the state. The problem is they're not always about those 53 press releases. For the most part, they're about other topics, ranging from COVID positives to masks to education initiatives and things like that. Of the 53 press releases, KYMA has picked up usually about 3 out of every 4. The problem is we don't see them on the news. They end up on the website, and we're very happy to have any coverage that we can get. But I think when people think that we're not getting coverage from them, it's because it's not showing up on the 30-minute news broadcast that happens at 5 or 6 or 10 every night. It's on the website. And to a certain extent, that gets buried there when the main focus in a lot of news organizations locally and nationally is on COVID, car accidents, crime, things like that. And so we haven't had a way in to the actual 30-minute broadcast in a lot of situations when it comes to the 53 positive things that we're sharing. The biggest positive with our press interactions since July has been the addition of 2 monthly radio segments on Jennifer Blackwell's radio station. We do every second and third Thursday. We've actually been doing a regular segment on the third Thursday for the last year and a half. We added that second one this year to try and incorporate more people. We've already had some students join us. We've had a lot more teachers. So it's been a lot less leadership focused and really trying to, again, broaden sort of that reach and show what's going on our campuses from a different perspective. We're also looking into going into 2 other radio stations with some regular monthly or bi-weekly segments, and I can give you guys more information on that at a later time, but that's something that we just started again around the holidays, and we're working through that. So the radio has been a really nice area for us to generate some reach in the community. And really the target for the radio are parents. We're trying to reach parents who may not listen to the voicemails that we send, or may not read emails, or may not have Facebook or be on there, and they're on their commute to and from work at that time of day, and they're hearing some of those things. And just wanted to give you a quick overview of what's coming up. We are looking to live stream more events as we get more comfortable with that equipment outside of just graduations, trying to do a little bit more in that area, especially now with the growth of the communications team. We have already published 2 podcasts in November and December, and we're looking to continue to expand that a little bit. That was something that was on a hiatus once COVID happened, and we've slowly tried to bring that back as another vehicle to get information out to the community. And then below that, the number one passion for me, and fortunately Leslie and Christian on my team are both bilingual. We're really trying to come up with ways to deliver more original Spanish content, and that's not just in those area of series and videos and things like that, but also finding ways to reach the almost 4,000 families who have submitted Spanish as their preferred language in our Blackboard communications, finding better ways to reach those families, and that would include one of our hopeful radio segments that are coming up in the future that would be Spanish speaking. Also, we have our annual billboards, our scholarship surprises, and this general looking at expanding our community partnerships as well. And I guess the whole summation of all of this information is that the press interactions thing doesn't bother me as much as it used to, because at one point a couple of years ago, not getting the coverage that we may have expected or desired from the media was something that I was passionate about striving to. Why can't we get that? What can we do to get that coverage? And if you see the reach that we have on the right, you see all of the positive stuff, the number of views that we're getting, and all the things that we have looking ahead, including billboards in our community with faces of our students and things like that. I really think our reach can be done internally. We don't have to rely on the external media as much as we ever had before. And again, with the growth of the team and the growth of the content that we're producing, I think it can only get bigger and better.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Pat?
I have a question because I don't know a lot about how with podcasts or with YouTube where they have intermittent commercials, is that a separate, buy-in, or is that come part of a package?
So we do not monetize any of our podcasts because of our position as a public school district.
That makes sense.
But so we have opted out of any of the monetization of even some of the Facebook videos. They give you that option to monetize those. We have done paid advertising on Facebook, on Spotify, and we spent a fraction of the amount of dollars that we had spent on recruiting, traveling, and things like that on Facebook, Spotify, and Pandora last year to do recruiting, and then also billboards.
Oh, yeah.
We had a really in-sync campaign between those 4 entities to recruit teachers, and it was, I feel like, without having the metrics in front of me, a lot more successful than even spending nearly 5 times more traveling.
Wow.
But that's the only actual monetary uses we've had with Facebook or any of their social media. Everything else, we have not monetized that in any way.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Kravitz?
Thank you so much for explaining this in very basic language. I appreciate it. And I commend you for really looking within to get the word out. It's obvious. It's easily searchable. If anybody can use any social media platform, it's there. I have a question about the site level. So at the site level on each of our campuses, is that coordinated through you, or is that coordinated at the building?
For the websites?
Not even
Or
for the
the
websites,
socials?
like for announcements, you know?
So I also oversee training and implementation of Blackboard messages. So that would be the phone call, email, and text messages that parents receive, whether it's about attendance or it's about an alert, hopefully not about things like a lockdown or things like that, but those would be the messages that I oversee. But I've also provided campuses an opportunity to do training with Blackboard or with me to learn how to operate it. So the general day-to-day messaging is coming from the campus level. The campus still has a communications liaison who is operating the day-to-day social media. I oversee the district's site and social sites, as well as the overarching Blackboard messages that would come out of the district. But the campuses, whether it's through the academic office for things like absences, or the communications liaison, or others who have been designated by the principal to send Blackboard messages, would handle those on the day-to-day. And if there was some larger picture ones, or there was a safety issue or something like related to COVID or something like that, then it would be a coordinated effort with me.
Okay, so I was not thinking so much of the Blackboard messages, because I'm sure they come from the district, but more like, I think it was Gila Ridge that talked about their Spirit Week, and it goes out into their social media platforms, right? So the kids can look up on Instagram, oh, today's Tuesday, and they're doing, anything but a backpack. Who monitors that?
So ultimately it comes down to me, but on the day-to-day, it's coming the communications liaison and the activities office on campus. We implemented a year ago, so it must have been the beginning of the 2021 school year. We gave all of the activities principals access to their Facebook pages, for example. So the activities principal, myself, and the communications liaison on that campus would have access to the social media platforms, and the school would be in charge of sort of the day-to-day monitoring. And if they were choosing to respond, for example, to Facebook comments or questions, that would be up to the communications liaison and the activities principal and or principal. And then if there was something that needed to be elevated, or if there were some things that we were sharing on all 7 platforms, then that would probably be something I would do, or the my team, Christian and Leslie, would do.
Gotcha. And so each campus site does have a communication liaison?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And
Four of them are teachers, one dropout prevention specialist, and a counselor. So yes,
Perfect.
they're all a mixed group of people.
right, I think that just in the last, I guess this is coming up on the beginning of my 4th year on this board, your campaign has been tremendous. And so thank you very much. It's really easy information for all of us.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Patton.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay, moving on. First read of regulations and exhibits. These will not require board approval, and after the first read will be put into the district policy manual. Okay. Moving on, we've got the call to the public. Any person wishing to speak may present the information at this time only. All presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes on each subject. Before you begin to speak, please identify yourself by clearly stating for the record your name. Comments by members of the governing board in response to any public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter or requesting rescheduling of the matter for further consideration at a later date. I didn't get any cards. Is there anybody wanting to address the call to the public? I see none, so we'll move forward. Consent items. Adoptions of items of a routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. A board member may pull items which will be discussed and voted on separately. Is there a motion to accept the consent items?
I move that we, the governing board, approve all consent items as submitted.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez, to approve the consent items as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, we've done 6.1. 6.2, consideration to accept donations. I will read the donations, and there are a lot of them, so bear with me. At Cibola High School, the Education Foundation of Yuma County donated $268.01 to Cibola High School. This donation will be used to purchase adaptive PE equipment. The Education Foundation of Yuma County donated $163.38 to Cibola High School. This donation will be used to purchase supplies for the school to work class grade 12. Yuma Orchestra Association Incorporated donated $250 to Cibola High School's Interact Club. Mr. Daniel Villalpondo donated hot chocolate and champurrado, is that correct?
Champurrado.
Okay, supplies to Cibola High School Student Council class of 2024 to be used at future club activities. This donation has an estimated value of $100. Russell and Janet Jones donated $1,600 to Cibola High School to be used in the following programs: $400 for choir, $400 for art, $400 for ceramics, $400 to dance. The Raider Drama Booster donated $2,450 to Cibola High School. This donation will be used to purchase the rights for the spring drama production. To Gila Ridge High School, Holbrook Electric donated $1,000 to Gila Ridge High School's choir program. This donation will go towards the purchase of various materials and trip expenses. Mrs. Madalena Macaluso donated prepackaged pastries to Gila Ridge High School's welding club for resale as a fundraiser. This donation has a value of $33.80. Chloe Lopez donated hot chocolate supplies to Gila Ridge High School's welding club for resale as a fundraiser. This donation has a value of $29.12. Gila Ridge High School Student Council donated a Pile outdoor portable karaoke speaker system, including accessories, to Gila Ridge High School to be used for school events. This donation has a value of $196.71. Chick-fil-A donated $150 to Gila Ridge High School to go towards the purchase of a mascot costume. To Kofa High School, the Regional Center for Border Health donated club t-shirts to Kofa High School HOSA Nursing Club. The value of the donation is $775.06. Home Depot donated various materials and supplies to Kofa High School's Senior Co-op Skills USA ICE program. The supplies will be used for the Skills USA Career Pathways Showcase contest at the Region 1 competition. The estimated value of this donation is $261. Ms. Deanie Hinkle donated various art supplies to Kofa High School's art class. The estimated value of this donation is $100. To San Luis High School, Mr. Matthias Rosales of Realty One Group Gateway donated $200 to San Luis High School's girls soccer program. This donation will be used to pay for tournament lodging and purchase soccer equipment. Kashawaski LLC donated $300 to the San Luis High School girls soccer program. This donation will be used to pay for tournament lodging and purchase soccer equipment. Mr. Robert Frazier, and I'm sure his wife, donated $4,600 to San Luis High School to be used in the following programs: $2,500 for the library, $500 for drama, $400 for construction, $400 for welding, $400 for marching band, and $400 for agriculture. Student nutrition services. The school lunch study at Arizona State University donated a Cambro salad bar and $1,000 to the Student Nutrition Services Department. This donation will be used at Yuma High School within their meal service operations, promoting healthy eating behaviors. The total value of this donation is $3,500. To Yuma High School, Southwest Rock and Turf donated turf to the Yuma High School basketball team. This donation will be used to replace the baseball team. I was thinking basketball team doesn't need turf. Sorry. This donation will be used to replace the turf in the home bullpen. The value of the donation is $406. Donors Choose donated $895.32 worth of books to the Yuma High School library as part of the Supporting Avid Readers More Copies of Popular Books project. Additionally, Donors Choose donated another $1,024 worth of books to Yuma High School library to be cataloged and processed for student use. That's it. It is recommended that the governing board accept the above listed donations. Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board accept the donations as read by Mr. Townsend. This is the first time I've been here where it's been 3 pages long, so thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Mr. Gonzalez, to accept the donations. Is there any questions or comments other than thank you to everybody? That's a proof that we live in a very generous community. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 6.3, consideration to approve the settlement agreement between Yuma Union High School District and the Arizona Department of Education. It is recommended that the governing board approve the settlement agreement between the Arizona Department of Education and the district. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, approve the settlement agreement between the Arizona Department of Education and the district.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Ms. Mullen, second by Ms. Kravitz to approve the settlement agreement between the Arizona Department of Education and Yuma Union High School District. Ms. Thompson, would you like to give further explanation, although we had good explanation in our packet? Thank you.
Thank you, President Townsend and governing board members. I advised you in August of an audit, an attendance audit through the Arizona Department of Education. This is regularly occurring. We get audited all the time for various reasons. This particular one was dated back from 2016 through 19. So even in that huge amount of time, that's how audits happen. So regardless of administrative changes, staffing changes, those audits occur. And our current staff, our current state reporting team, as well as leadership, met with ADE auditors regarding those outcomes. I previously shared with you back in August that there was no malice or any kind of egregious findings. It was basically just correcting amounts to the basic state aid. Auditors determined that there was incorrect reporting enrollment data. It's very specific in your background, but with those overstatements and even an understatement of our YODA FTEs, and then there was an unintentional double report for special education. And because those students can be weighted differently, not worth, but weights to the funding model, it can sometimes be even a bigger amount. We did appeal. We continue to disagree with the finding. It had already been corrected by our own staff, and we're proud of that particular piece, but we felt that it was outside of statutory time limit for an audit. The Auditor General did not agree with us. Our attorney did a fine job representing us in that, but they did agree to a lesser amount paying back to the Department of Education when we presented all of our information. We did have our attorney, as I said, and all of our district fees were paid for by the trust, but entering into that agreement, that would be what I would request that we approve this evening.
Is there any questions or discussion?
Where would that money come from? Which line item would it come from? Or does it come from the trust? Because that would be awesome.
In essence, we were overfunded, so it comes from our budget, our Mno budget. Nice try, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, but we get to pay it in payments. It's not all one fund.
Over 2 years, and I disagree. I also, again, want to reiterate this was even a different administration, a different time, different employees, but it has already been rectified. And I appreciate the opportunity to appeal. You don't always get the outcome that you want, but I do feel like we were heard, and that we were given the opportunity to discuss, and I feel like it probably prompted some of the practice at that particular office as well.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. The motion before us is to approve the settlement agreement between the Arizona Department of Education and the Yuma Union High School District. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Item 6.4, consideration to approve the Yuma Union High School District Course Description Guide, including CTE and course fees. It is recommended that the governing board approve the 2022-2023 Yuma Union High School District Course Description Guide, including CTE. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the item 6.4 as stated.
I will second.
The motion has been made by Mr. Gonzalez, seconded by Ms. Kravitz, to approve the 2022-2023 Yuma Union High School District Course Description Guide, including CTE. Ms. Thompson.
Thank you, President Townsend. I'd like to ask Associate Superintendent Lisa Anderson to speak to this matter.
This is an annual board approval. It usually takes place in February, but our team has been working hard over the last few months to get the document ready for the 22-23 school year. As we are starting at the end of January, we'll be registering students for the next school year. So the course description guide is a document that is on our website. It's available to students and families as they're looking at their pathways in high school. Along with that are the course fees that come with the courses, and there are no new courses for the 22-23 school year. Along with that, no new changes to any of the fees for the 22-23 school year.
Okay, I think it's important to note that there are no new fees.
Correct, and just, you can go back and look over the years. We do our utmost to have no fees whenever possible. We've had times that has happened as well, but there are no changes to fees for the upcoming school year.
Okay. Not only no new fees, but that includes no increased fees, correct?
Correct.
I want to make that clear.
And just to clarify, for families that are unable to meet the financial obligations, that will not preclude a student from registering.
That
in
is not a
class.
barrier for students entering into our career and technical education programs, or quite frankly, any program, extracurricular or academic in Yuma Union High School District.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, the motion before us is to approve the 2022-2023 Yuma Union High School District Course Description Guide, including CTE. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, 5:15 right here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Excuse me.
President Townsend, I would just like to acknowledge and thank Yuma Police Department, who officers who come every single month to help support our governing board meeting. I thank the chief as well as her officers who attend.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Motion carries. We are adjourned.